How you doing? Today I want to talk about top coats. I have a project coming up for a motorcycle and the tank I'm worried about, if I get a fuel spill on it, that I may damage the dip. So I'm looking for a top coat that can go over this that will protect my dip. So here is, for example, cherry red. I know if we get a fuel spill on this it will damage it, maybe leave a teardrop stain, or if we try and rub it off it will actually start to peel off some of the dip. So your next option is the glossifier, which will add a nice shiny look to it. It's a DIY product. It's easy to use. You can put it on pretty much straight away, but it is also not fuel resistant, and this will also, while giving it a little bit of extra protection, I feel it won't protect it from a major fuel spill, or even a small fuel spill for that matter. Now maybe a wax coat on that might do the job, but I'm looking for something that's DIY, because Full Dip do have a 2-pack gloss and matte product, and these are fuel resistant. They will work, but they're a professional product. They're not for the DIYer, and you need to use a different spray gun. So we're going to leave that out of the equation. So they also do a matte and gloss Full Dip permanent lacquer, and it's called Super Brillo. We just call it the Super Gloss. And then we have the matte finish. So what I've done is I've tested out this is a 1-pack version, by the way. And so I don't know if this is going to resist the fuel or not, so we'll do a test. And this is the kind of finish you get, by the way. It's a little bit brighter again than the glossifier, and it certainly feels stronger. And if you put it on properly, this is still a peelable product. For example, if you lay down 7 coats of dip, leave it for a day, and then the next day apply 2, 3, 4 wet coats maximum of the super gloss, it will then peel. But you must lay down 7 coats of dip first. But look, we're here to do is we're going to do a test and see what happens if I spill petrol on this. So what I've done is I've got a black speed shape, and I've put the super gloss on. I've put on 4 light coats, and then what I've decided to do was I have identified the lower half with a bit of masking tape as being waxed. So I've laid on just 2 wax coats of our Full Dip Nano Wax, and I will see if this adds any extra protection as well. So let's get some petrol. And let's see what happens. Okay. That is pretty well and truly soaked now in petrol. I can't imagine you doing this at a petrol pump. If you do, I'd stand away from the bike for a few minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that to evaporate. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll examine the product in about 5 minutes. So I'll cut it here for now, and then we'll come back to it in a few minutes. Okay, so while I was letting the speed shape dry off, I decided I was going to do the same test on our Full Dip and on the glossifier as well. So I just poured the same amount from a glass with petrol all over the whole product, and I can actually see some of the cherry red coming off during the spill process. And I couldn't see what the glossifier looked really wet and shiny, but when it's dried out and I've cleaned it down, I can see, you know, the actual Full Dip itself has come out pretty well okay. It's lost a bit of it's probably lost about half a coat, and the glossifier is flattened out a bit. It's not as shiny as it used to be, but it still fared fairly well, and I'm impressed with that. Getting back to our 1-pack finish, well, the bit that had the wax on it fared out the best. The piece that had no wax on it, definitely the gloss, it's kind of flattened out a little bit. It's flattened out across the whole surface a little bit, but the wax definitely protected it more. Now remember, I poured petrol straight over this. In a petrol station scenario where you might get a drip off the fuel filler itself, I think this is going to fare out very well. What I like about this most of all is this is a DIY finish. There's no doubt about it. It's for anybody to use. Just take your time, do 4 light coats, and you're not going to get a run. You're going to get a nice solid glassy finish. If you lay down 7 coats of dip and put down 4 light coats of our 1-pack in the matte or the super gloss, you're going to get a product that's still peelable. It's going to take a fuel spill. In actual fact, motorcycle wheels, chain oil, that's going to come off this so easy, and you're going to be able to put wax on it every time and buff it up, and it's going to look well. So this is definitely not fuel proof. I would consider it nearly almost fuel resistant, but I like it because it's DIY. I'm PD, thanks for watching, we'll talk soon.